Hello, 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 Internet people. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello, everybody. Alrighty then. Oh my. I know what you folks are thinking. Mikey's at it again. Trying to be a YouTube or Facebook star. No, not trying to be a star. Oh, somebody's watching. I wonder who that might be. We're going to be talking about exterior glass today. Who is that? Oh boy. Somebody asked me the other day in a PM, they asked me how long had I been doing this sort of stuff. Well, off and on since I was about, I don't know, I guess 10 years old or a little younger maybe. My granddaddy owned a country gas station. Uh-oh, somebody tuned out, I guess. Are you still there? It's Friday. Anyway, my granddaddy decided for those that wanted it, he would clean up cars at his gas station while people waited. So he started teaching me how to wash cars, and then later on taught me how to run a rotary buffer. And back then they were rough, folks. I'm gonna tell you what. They didn't have speed control. They didn't have nothing. No soft start, none of that stuff. You turned it on, it was going. Full speed, whatever it was. It was a little difficult to hang on, especially for a little kid like myself. Who is that watching me? All right. Before my daughters and other people start yelling at me, here we go again. Here we are at Mike's Magic. Auto detailing and paint enhancement. There's my refrigerator magnet. See it? It stick a little bit here, but there again. Oh, we've been doing this test for what, a week or two now? Put it here where there's lots of protection and boop, it won't stick. Oh well. But we're going to be talking about glass today. Oh, I got 4 whole people watching exterior glass and how to restore it. All the glass on my car, which is a 1998 Mustang GT, new motor and all that stuff. This is all the original glass that was on it when it rolled off the showroom floor many moons ago. And I got a new, not a new product, but a new to me product. I'm not sure how long it's been out on the market. Excuse me. Came highly recommended by some high level detailers in some of my forums and groups. This stuff right here. See if it'll focus on that. Up. Glass IQ by Dr. Beasley. I had never heard of it till now. But anyway, I decided to try it. I don't remember how much it cost. It is a glass sealant and final polish. Now the windshield is completely done, and I'll go over the procedure that I went through to get there. And you know, restoring exterior glass, you think, well, I'll just clean it real good, put this stuff on there, and good to go. No, not quite that easy, as you can see by all the products I have out here. Really, my first step was I mix up my own glass cleaner. First thing I do is clean all that off with a waffle weave microfiber towel, just to get all the dirt and grime, everything off of it I could. And then I pre-did it with some 50% alcohol, 50% distilled water to clean any residue that might have left off of there. And then you can see that product sitting there. That's Citral Schaefer's Citral. You have to order that. I don't think you can buy it around town, but it's very dilutable in different ways for different things. And then I took Citral, which I do have in a spray bottle, which I don't have in front of me, but I sprayed it all down in there. Then I scrubbed it down with these generic magic sponges. It's called melamine foam, something like that. Order these in bulk, 100 at a time. I get them for 8 cents a piece, about 9 cents a piece. They don't last as long as your name brand ones do, but for 8 cents a piece, you use it, hell, you just throw it away. But they're usually good for, if I'm using them on glass, they're good for a couple, glass. I cleaned all that off, and then to get rid of that residue, once again, the alcohol, you spray it on, just wipe it off. It's not a big deal. Just to get it nice and clean. And then I had stuff on the windshield and had some scratches, which some of those I was able to remove and some of them I wasn't. I knew I was not going to be able to, because you're engaging in kind of some risky behavior when you start buffing glass, because if you're not careful, you can alter the optical clarity of the glass. And some of the scratch, like I had some that's from these wipers going back and forth over the years, where the previous owner didn't clean the blades and all that, and you were just wiping, grit of dirt across it, or sometimes maybe even plain metal or whatever. But there were some of those. There's some scratches that I don't know what they're from. I don't know if I can get up here good enough for y'all to see them. I don't think the light's going to pick them up. But there's some fine scratches in a couple places. Not terrible. And I was able to get those down to a minimum after all this other stuff. And what I did, I used my rotary buffer, a hybrid wool pad. You can see it's dirty, it needs cleaning now. And since I didn't have on hand any dedicated glass polish, I used, sometimes you don't overthink it. This is what I had on hand. Among other things, I decided to go with this just for whatever, because it's somewhat aggressive, but not overly so. I put that on here. I buffed this whole windshield with it slowly. I kept moving, but slowly. And then I wiped it off with just a low pile microfiber towel. You don't have to get real fancy with your microfiber towels when you're doing glass. Usually low to medium pile works better on glass, because it will get kind of grabby if you try to use those big thick plush ones that are designed for the paint. But then after that, I used, to remove the protection that's in this product, there's at least behind a layer, I used this paint prep. Any kind of paint prep would do, but it does a better job of removing all the residual stuff on there, like the wax, the oils, and the solvents and the carriers that all that stuff leaves behind. See, it says dissolves and removes wax and oil residue. And then, when you're using this on glass, it's designed for paint, but it works on glass. You ended up still with a little leftover stuff. So I cleaned that off with my alcohol and all that. And then what I did was apply this stuff. And it's easy to use, very easy to use. And what I did was I sprayed some on that pearl weave microfiber towel, very low pile. I applied it in a crosshatch pattern to the glass. let it sit there for just a few seconds, and then I took a little bit better quality towel, a medium pile, and I buffed it to perfection, as they say. And my glass is so old on this windshield and so hammered. Folks, I wasn't looking for perfection. I was looking for protection. And, you know, you can use regular wax, cleaner wax and all that. You can do glass with that on the outside. It will help seal it and protect it, but it doesn't last all that long. Supposedly, the longevity of this stuff will be better. Now, my next thing I'm going to go to is the rear windshield. And you can see it's bad. It's bad. So I'll go through that whole process again. Get rid of all these contaminants, bonded contaminants, dirt and grime. It gets hammered because normally I have those louvers on there and they don't flip up. I didn't put them on there. They were on the car when I bought it, but makes it a pain in the butt to try to clean that rear windshield because you just about have to take that off. So consequently, my rear windshield doesn't get cleaned all that often. But it helps a little bit having that thing on because it protects some from the UVB rays from the sun. So this stuff doesn't get baked on and embed quite as bad as it normally would. So anyway, I'm going to do this. And if I can find where I can put this camera where I can kind of demonstrate to y'all, or maybe even do a 50-50 before and after. Half of the rear windshield I'll complete, and the other half I'll leave like it is, so you guys can kind of see the difference. But my main point is, if you're going to restore your exterior glass, there's more to it than spraying your favorite glass cleaner on there, wiping it off, and then putting whatever glass cleaner you want to put on there. And all these glass cleaners are not cleaners. They are glass polishes. Glass polishes. So, you know, but, you know, you can clean them off, put Rain-X on them, whatever you want. And you know what? You're good to go for a little while. But to get to this level takes a lot more time, a lot more effort. And as you can see, a fair amount of different products and equipment. But hopefully, you know, this thing turned out very nicely, I think. I think you can see right there, there's a scratch there where the windshield wiper has scratched it. Nothing I can do about those. But when you back up just a hair, you can't see them. And they're hard to see from inside the vehicle. And, you know, what happens a lot of times is you think your glass is clean. Then when it gets wet or damp or the humidity gets high, stuff seems to come back. Looks good dry, but it don't look good wet. And I spent a lot of time yesterday. I would buff a section off, wipe that residue off, and then I would wet it down with something and just wipe a wet towel over it, and then I could see those things that I had not removed from here. And I kept that up until once I wet it and wiped it with a wet towel, I could see nothing. I call them shadows. They show up when the glass is wet but look great when it's dry. It took a little bit of work to remove all that. Of course, now with this stuff, you know, the water will run off of it, blah, blah, blah. It'll protect it for a long time. But even in the rain, when it gets wet, or if it's just damp outside or you're getting dew on it, you won't see those shadows on the glass, which impede your vision when you're driving, particularly at night or in direct sunlight sometimes. But anyway, folks, I'll try to set up here and do another video for you guys when I'm doing the rear and maybe demonstrate some of these things. I do appreciate y'all tuning in. If you got a question, an observation, a criticism, whatever, a KMA, let me know you're watching in the comment section down there below from where you're watching from. That would be great. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. And if you're on YouTube watching this, you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button they tell me appears somewhere. And you will be notified of the future video when I do that back there, and other videos that are to come yet on different projects. And you can go back and check the playlist and look at my other projects. There's a bunch of them on there. My last long series was on doing interiors, which I still may do a couple of more on that, because now that I've basically got my interior clean, I will be going back and applying dressings and that sort of thing, and I'll go over some of the products you can use for that, which will make the next cleanup a snap. Okay? I do appreciate you folks, and no, Angela, I'm not getting in front of the glass so you can see me. I don't want to scare everybody off. All right, folks, y'all have a great Friday, and I understand a lot of stuff, since it's Friday here in Georgia, is opening back up. That's kind of good, I suppose, depending on how you look at it. But if you do venture out, you know, utilize caution, people. Utilize some caution either way. And you know what? And I learned yesterday that detailers were considered an essential service. Huh, go figure. All right, then. Okay, folks, y'all have a great Friday. Hope to see you here in a little while. Bye.